I am the priest here at St. Stephen's. I'm entering into my 3rd year, and it's been a very affirming experience and a beautiful church with a beautiful, close-knit family of parishioners.
We came 20 years ago. We immediately became the Sunday school teachers. So I was Sunday school teachers for many, many years. And then as my kids got older, then this past year, they needed a parish ministry coordinator. So I assumed that role.
I've been going to St. Stephen's Church now since I was 3 years old. That's over 60 years. Both my parents and my sister are buried in the memorial garden outside.
It's a wonderful choice, Gothic architecture, because in my study of ecclesiastical architecture, it's the only style that was designed specifically for a worship space. It's a very acoustically alive space with its hard surfaces, tile in the center aisles and wood underneath the pews, and it has a way of capturing a decent amount of outdoor light and bringing those beautiful colors of the stained glass window into the floor and walls of the church. For a person when they first come in, it kind of sets the mood, I think, pulling the heavy door and hearing it squeak as you go from the hustle and bustle of a redeveloping neighborhood into a staid, beautiful, calm, quiet, and peaceful space to worship.
This church started actually in a laundry over about a half a mile from here, and that was back in the late 1800s. We started having a church right here in this site in 1880s. This beautiful church was opened in 1903, and it's been thriving ever since. We started off with just colored glass windows, and as time went on, we replaced those with stained glass stories, so every single window tells a story from the Bible. It's a gift of love because these were mostly donated by parishioners who wanted to see the church be more beautiful, and they would contribute money towards that. Stained glass was kind of an important thing just in churches anyway, to block out the outside world when you're in here worshiping. And also in Pittsburgh, it was particularly important because Pittsburgh was such a sooty city back in the early half of the last century. So you didn't look out and see gloom and dirty air. You saw the stained glass beauty.
Good for you.
We have a beautiful illuminated cross at the transept as you're going from the body of the church up into the nave. There's an illuminated cross that hangs there, which is unique. I've never seen one anywhere like it. We have a stone baptismal font that was from our original church in the 1880s. That's an important part of the beginnings of life here for any new parishioner to be baptized from that baptismal font. Further over in what we call the morning chapel, which is a smaller section of the seating area of the church, is a beautiful bronze plaque on the wall that says, "In His Garden," and those are the names with the birth and death dates of each of the people whose cremated remains are in the memorial garden. It just looks like a side yard to the casual observer, but it's really the burial ground for 47 people in our church, the cremated remains of those people. And it was important to my family, so 3 of my family members are there. It was something we wanted for a long time, to be able to have people stay with this church as long as for eternity, have their ashes here for the eternity. And so after a few meetings with Borough Council, that was approved. There was a woman named Cohn who was a longtime parishioner, and she really took that under her wing to make that happen, so that people could have that option of being buried right here in the church grounds. It's very sacred ground, really.
So I've been a priest since 1999, and this is the first parish I've ever been to that has its own memorial garden for cremains, and I think it's wonderful. There's a cross and a little bench. A person can kind of spend time there and reflect. The fencing around it gives a framework for the space, and it provides a sense of connection between those who have been here and those who are left behind.
It's very special to be able to go there and see and remember those people, because I knew all of them. As you're coming in the front door of the church on the entrance on Franklin Avenue, the words over the door say, "And his house shall be called a house of prayer for all people." Little carved letters that span from one side of the doorway to the other. Right out of the Bible, but when they first built the church in 1903, the words "for all people" were not included. So about 20 years ago, the church members got together and decided that that was important to say "for all people." So we carefully removed those letters. Actually, my husband made additional letters to say the words "for all people," and then we made them to match exactly and repositioned all the letters so that the words are now, "And this house shall be called a house of prayer for all people."
Jesus said, "In my house there are many mansions. I go to prepare a place for you." So if the church is saying that, God, this is a house for all peoples, it is. Open your arms to everybody, which is kind of a hard thing to do in a staid atmosphere like this, but that's what this church is trying to do, and I think it's done it in a beautiful way. This church is not just a church for the motley crew in the church, it's also the church for the community as well. The gym has been used by kids all over the neighborhood for years and years and years. So that is a blessing to the community as well. NA groups and AA groups meet here. So they meet in the parish hall or the library. We have a Bible study in the library. So people are always coming in and out of this beautiful and functional building. It's a gift to Wilkinsburg, I think. It's a cool thing to think about how this church, this building, this physical structure, has been here for all these years. And the building hasn't morphed, but the congregation and the people that come into it have morphed. But the fact that it's been here all that time, it's really kind of mind-blowing and beautiful.
It's great to see the church being still a place of gathering, not just for worship, but for social needs as well.
It's not frenetic and fast. The mood of the building and the architecture matches that peaceful procession of the service. And so I think people have found peace here and love here. And there's enough beauty to look at that it just naturally makes you connect with God.